and welcome to Magical Marker, a game of Dungeons and Dragons and drawings. We're a bunch of cartoonists and illustrators who won't just be playing the game, but doodling what happens along the way. It's a PG-13 story of teens and tweens on their first big adventure on their own. Let's start by introducing our cast. We're going to start with Priscilla.
Hi, I'm Priscilla, and I play Espuriel, the half-elf bard, who is 17 years old.
And Boya.
Hello, I'm Boya. I play Bug, a 12-year-old bugbear warlock, and who's traveling with his friend Boxy.
And what is Boxy?
Boxy is a cat that's a box. That's a news.
And Caitlin.
I'm Caitlin. I play Zip. She's a drow fighter and she's 16 years old.
And Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt. I play Swell, who's a 15-year-old Water Genasi cleric who worships the Tempest god Sunda, and he's very mad right now. Swell, not Sunda. Sunda's always mad.
And I'm your Dungeon Mancer, Brian, and I'm going to run all the NPCs, including Mog, who is Zip's Orc Rune Knight sister. Last week, you were underground in the Gempire. Bug had a dream vision from his patron, a nameless spirit of friendship. It said that he was close to where she was imprisoned, and she would guide him to her when he was ready. But they would need Swell for a safe rescue. Not long into your travels the following day, you left the tunnels that you were in to enter the underground canyon known as Dark Chasm. Wondering where to go next, you flew up and found some bats. A helpful bat gave you some information about what was around, including slimes, crystal-like giant beetles, a crying ghost, floating fire skulls, and a wise old mushroom. You decided to go 500 flaps north to the mushroom, but found it in combat with a party of gifted teens. You got the group to stop attacking the mushroom and meet you a ways away for a talk. After some sizing each other up, Zip was shot with a crossbow bolt from a sneaky goblin named Greem, and the party vamoosed backwards into the bugmobile. The Tabaxi Bard's 7-stringed lute cast heat metal on the bugmobile, making it searing hot to all of you inside, but you still managed to retreat back to the mushroom and jump out of the superheated vehicle onto the skeleton and fungus-covered chasm floor. Somewhere out in the darkness are the other gifted teens. But right now, you're in amongst a large bunch of mushrooms. See if we've got the picture from last week here.
I actually didn't realize they were teens.
Yeah, I thought they were adults.
No, a group of other teens.
Ooh.
I mean, it's hard to tell with the bear, you know? Is that a teenage bear? But yeah, it kind of looks like this, except for without those other people there now. Here are the people there. And the bugmobile's pretty close. And that's where we start. So you are all now fairly close to the, like you're within its protective smashy arm, like mushrooms is what I understand, or are you like trying to still stay away from it? Like how close do you want to get to it?
I think there's only the two of us. It's Zip and East nearby, right?
Mog and Swell had jumped out like
Yeah.
only a few feet away from you guys, and Bug as well.
Okay.
Like you guys are like maybe like one round, like 6 seconds away from being beside each other, depending on which way you want to go. And from what I understand, Zip stopped the bugmobile just inside the area where the mushrooms were, or just on the cusp of it. Where would you have stopped it, Zip?
I mean, I would have landed it as close to the big mushroom as possible.
Okay. And so everybody else is, just sort of on the cusp of the mushroomy floor. So, you can't see the skeletons and various other things that are on the spongy fungus floor. What do you guys want to do?
I need to drink a potion, I think. How much is a potion heal?
A regular healing potion does 2d4 plus 2.
Okay. 2d4. So 2 4-sided dice.
That's right. It's better than a D8 because it means the minimum you're going to get is 2. You can't roll a 1. You can roll 2 1s, but
I rolled 2 1s.
nice.
4.
But at least you get to add 2 to it.
I think Esporio's gonna do the same. He's kind of basically sheltering behind the heated mobile on the opposite side, so that it's between him and where the others are likely to approach from, where they came from.
Okay, and Swell, what are you thinking of doing here? Are you back?
So yeah, basically kind of near Mog, side by side, shield up, hammer out, waiting for whatever's coming, kind of slowly backing up towards the mushroom, I think. The mushroom forest area.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I have my back towards something that's protected, but have like a good line of sight on where they will be coming from, potentially.
Sure. Bug, are you going to make your way with Mog and Swell, who are backing up towards the mushroom area, or are you going to continue to stay out amongst the stalactites and stalagmites? I guess it's stalagmites that are with you. Tights are the ones on the top.
Yeah, I'm going to join the group.
Okay. So you're all sort of around the area that the Bugmobile parked in. And everybody needs to make wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
18.
12.
18 for Bug,
Yep.
12 for Esporio,
I got 16, 1-6.
16 for Swell, and
12.
12 as well for Zip. And Mog rolls a 12 and is going to add a big fat 0 to that. So we've got 3 12s, all of which are fails. So what happens is you're breathing in here, just regular breaths, maybe a little bit more, intense because you're a little amped up, and you breathe in some of the spores that are floating around. And I would like each of you to roll a D4. Everybody who failed. And I will roll for Mog.
I got a 2.
Okay. Priscilla?
3.
3. Okay, so Priscilla and Mog both rolled attack nearest person. And Zip, you got run around in circles around the mushroom. And you just feel compelled to do this. Like, just like, oh wow, this is so fun. Wow, this is going to be awesome. And you just start running and bolting. And Mog and I guess Mog's right beside Swell.
Yeah.
And Priscilla, you're probably right beside Zip, so you probably get a shot on Zip as she's running.
I have a weapon drawn, so.
If you, I want you to use what you would probably use as a regular attack, because it's sort of like just your mind is like, oh, I have to attack them. So I think it would probably be like a vicious mockery.
So it's not an attack action?
I mean, if you feel like Esporio would use your rapier or crossbow or something to attack, you can, but it feels like you don't do that. You usually use your vicious mockery. Is that correct?
Yeah, it probably would be.
Okay.
So in which case it would be a wisdom 14. Save.
All right. I rolled a crit on my attack from Mog, unfortunately.
Cool. How much damage is that?
Let's see. She is not going to use any of her special attacking because she doesn't have to. She's not being forced to do that. I rolled. That's 11 damage from her battle axe.
Oh, 11 damage.
And she is like, ah, and just has this berserk look in her eye. And you are like, you can tell this isn't Mog. The Mog was like running back with you, going, okay, we gotta protect Zip, okay, and the rest of the group. Got your back. And then she just like, and just starts attacking you. And those of you who made your saves feel like a feeling of disorientation, but you're able to sort of, like go steady yourself and be like, wait a minute, no, something's messing with my head.
Wait, who does Mog attack?
Swell, because they were side by side.
Who did the other, who did his Boreal attack?
This Boreal's got to, needs I think a saving throw from Zip, is that correct?
Oh.
What kind of saving throw is it? Wisdom?
14.
1.
So how are you gonna mock Zip?
We've only just got here and you're already running away, I see.
I'm not running. I just love mushrooms so much. And I'm gonna
That's
run around the
1 damage.
mushroom.
Psychic.
How much damage?
1 psychic damage.
Oh, just 1.
One psychic.
Not too phased by this mockery.
Yeah.
More
This
just
is better.
enraptured by mushroom.
Disadvantage on any next attack roll you make before the end of your next turn.
Okay.
Which probably isn't going to affect you because you can't do that. All right. So you guys are dealing with that. Swell and Bug, how do you want to react to your cohorts behaving in this strange manner?
First, I want to say, what the hell, man? What was that? That really hurt. Jeez. Well, not jeez, because that's the wrong place. But I'll be like, ugh. I'll let out a curse.
Soon.
And then, can I make a medicine check to see if I know if I can identify what's happened to her, or?
I don't think you need to make that. I mean, you were warned that this mushroom was messing with people's minds, and this person who you don't know super well, but is never, she's given you a noogie, but she's never drawn a weapon on you. So I think you're pretty sure what's going on here.
All right.
I mean, unless you specifically want to play Swell as dumb in this moment, but I think you'd be wise enough to know.
We should,
there's something I do want to try, but is there anything you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna say we should cover our nose. We should cover our nose. I think something, I don't know, this mushroom is making them go crazy. And I cover my nose. I don't know if...
Okay, the mushroom, when you say that, says, "Oh no, come on, guys. I'm not trying to do this. Why are you acting this way?"
What, so is it out loud where everyone can hear, or just me?
It's in your head.
Oh.
Everybody's head hears that.
What's happening? I say, what's happening to them?
Oh, they're being bad guests. Sometimes, instead of talking to me, people just start doing weird stuff.
Yeah, it's because they breathed in your spores. Can you turn it off? Turn it
What
off.
spores? What are you talking about?
Oh, she breathed in something that came out of you, and now she's trying to hit me. And she really did.
You're saying I'm stinky?
Look, they're not acting like themselves. They're hurting us. They're hurting each other. Is it because of you?
Swell. Other than talking, is there an action you want to take?
Well, there was going to be talking to the mushroom.
Okay.
what I was playing. Not sure if I want to waste a spell on Lesser Restoration just yet, given that we have a bunch of teens coming towards us.
I would like Priscilla and Caitlin to roll saving throws for their characters again. Wisdom saving throws, please.
6.
And Priscilla? No?
Fails. There's a
Okay, so you have to attack the nearest person. Zip is running around, so... it's not attacking the mushroom, but attacking, like, a humanoid type thing nearby. So let's say... I'm going to roll a d6. 1 and 2 is Mog, 3 and 4 is Swell, and 5 and 6 is Bug. Because Zip is running around, so Zip is no longer the closest one to you.
Right, but it doesn't stay the same effect every time.
Yes. Unless you save out of it. 5. I think I said 5 and 6 was who?
I think he's the Bug, right?
Okay. So 5 and 6 was Bug. So Bug, you need to save a Wisdom 14 save, is that?
Oh, no. I got 11.
Alright, you're going to take some vicious mockery damage from East Boreal.
Across the distance to here. And your name is so fitting because you're small like a flea. That's a 4 psychic damage.
Whoa.
Okay. Like a flea. That's the trigger word. Are we taking turns or something?
Yeah. If you want to do something that is like I don't care whether you or Swell go next, like between the two of you. Zip is still continuing to run. Mog does another attack.
I'm ready for it this time, though.
I forgot to double it last time on the crit, but that's okay. I rolled another crit this time. I will double it this time.
Cool, Swell's dead, so...
That's 12 damage. No, sorry, 22 damage.
Yeah, Swell's dead.
Wow.
Not dead. Down.
He's dead.
He's
gives up on
like,
life.
oh,
He gives
I'm
up.
dead.
Wow. I'm going to back up, and then I'm gonna send Boxy to give Swell a healing. Wait, can you heal when you're like down?
I mean, you can't heal yourself, but you can be healed by someone else.
Okay. I'm gonna send Boxy to deliver a healing thing to Swell, but I'm gonna retreat to safety. And yeah, I'm gonna say to the mushroom, be like, can't you see you're killing us?
Why are you guys acting this way?
Does he
Oh,
not
this is
get
so
any chance
annoying.
to roll a persuasion check?
Yeah. The tree's trying to gaslight us. It's definitely doing
Yeah. It's literally gaslighting.
it. Yeah.
It does not intentionally doing this to you guys.
And we should have a chance to persuade it that it is doing a thing to us.
But persuade it to do what? Because it doesn't know how to stop what it's doing.
But it should at least be aware of it.
Okay, you can try to persuade it that it's doing something bad.
Does covering your nose not work?
Well, I didn't have you do a save, right?
No, I know, but
So
I'm assuming if they did, if Mog and Isboreal cover their nose, they stop attacking.
Well, it might work, but they're not able to do that because they're compelled to do something else. But if you could somehow plug it for them, that might be something that would work.
There's like they're compelled through the whole, like they don't snap out of it to realize.
Well, they had a chance to roll another saving throw, and all three of them failed
Oh,
again.
I see. I also shout to Boxy, can you, after you save Swell, can you run up and plug their noses?
Wait a minute. I didn't roll a saving throw for Boxy. Boxy? Uh-oh.
Oh,
Boxy doesn't breathe.
Boxy doesn't have a nose.
Boxy breathes. It's a cat.
So it's also a box. It
Yes.
doesn't have internal organs.
I guess Boxy can't be our invincible, like, guardian. Our OP guardian.
Boxy's just sitting there, meowing.
Okay, so is this from the beginning or just now?
That's what it's been doing from the beginning, so you can pick a different thing. But you can also give me a persuasion check, because Priscilla and Swell have suggested. Priscilla and Matt have both asked if that can be something that you guys do. If that can be rolled.
Wait, if Boxy's doing that from the beginning, I had Boxy in my hand, so I'm gonna cover its nose.
All right. Okay, it stops meowing and sort of shakes its head.
Persuasion check, okay. Oh, I rolled a 22, or combination with my bonus.
Oh no! I am doing this? I mean, I don't know why people act this way when I come out. You think it's my spores? I don't know how to get rid of my spores.
I can't believe you didn't realize. I thought someone told me you were really
All
smart.
the dead bodies are around you.
Someone told me you're a really wise mushroom, but
Well, I guess maybe they weren't the wisest person.
I guess it's just a matter of relativity. So what's wise to a bat?
wise for a mushroom. Is there any way you can stop shedding your spores?
Not that I know of. Can you turn them off for me?
Where is it coming from? Is it like
Give me a perception or medicine or nature check to figure it out.
I am gonna do a nature.
Nature would be like if you're looking at it, trying to thinking, oh, where do spores usually come from?
Yeah.
Perception if you're looking.
Okay. Yeah, I got a 17 for nature.
Okay. They usually come out of the bottom of the, like if this is the mushroom, they usually come out sort of,
Bottom of the cap.
yeah, sort of
Is
rain
this
down.
like is this does it have a scent or visual effect?
Yes, there's they're kind of like small versions of, like, you know when you blow a dandelion and those little white things float, like small versions of those, like twinkling star field.
I see. Okay, well, I guess it's pretty big, so I will just suggest that we all cover our noses, and I tie a cloth around Boxy's nose and send Boxy to save Swell, and also give tie cloth around everyone's noses.
Okay.
But I back away.
So I want saving throws again from everybody who's previously failed.
And a death saving throw from Swell.
Oh, I got an 18 this time.
14 from me.
Well, I passed one, the 18.
All right. So, with this time, Zip, you realize what's going on, and you sort of shake your head out of it. Like, running was fun, but you're feeling like, wait a minute, I feel like something was making me run. Like, this isn't right. And you shake the effects off, and we'll have her turn to do something, and same thing with these Boreal. However, Mog did not make her saving throw and is going to attack the nearest person to her, which is going to probably be Zip, because Zip is running around and running around and running around, and as you run past, Mog's going to take a swipe at you.
Wait, I just want to clarify. We were outside of the forest. We were backing up towards it, but we weren't inside it.
No, you went in, because that's where Priscilla and Zip were, and you guys were backing up towards them.
Yeah, but we was putting ourselves between the forest and the teens that were coming towards it, but we were backing up towards it.
Also, I think we're at least 80 feet away because there was one more round of the. Well, there was one more round of the Bugmobile going, which was 80 feet per round.
No, you guys, last week, Zip said they wanted to go and you spend that last round getting in there, but Zip you guys had jumped out ahead, and then you backed up towards them.
Yeah. We didn't, I figured we got close, so we, inhaled a bunch of the stuff, but I didn't picture us going into the forest. But, if that's where we are, that's where we are, I suppose.
Then she's going to swing for Bug if she's on the edge and can't get Zip. So to hit Bug, she rolls a 1. So I've rolled 2 20s and a 1 so far on my attacks tonight. So it's real swings and roundabouts. She runs towards you and she's swinging the axe around, but you're like, no. I'm not going to fall for this. And you roll out of the way.
Nice.
And then, Zip and East Boreal, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna cover my nose.
Okay.
Well, pulls out a scented handkerchief, which he puts over his face like this, and then he's going to run. Who else? And then he's going to run toward the Bugmobile and try to close it while still keeping. He's basically going to jump up on the seats, staying away from the metal, and then close the thing. So he'll actually keep it open long enough to say to Zip, if we get in here, we might be able to keep out whatever the clouds of confusion.
Okay.
I'll get back in the Bugmobile.
Okay, so you guys are going to need to, because it's a metal ladder to get back into it, are going to either willingly take some damage or make some sort of acrobatic check to take half of it, because it still has another round or two of being hot.
Technically.
I got a 14.
Okay.
I was going to say, how much do you want me to quibble about the wording of the spell? Because technically it takes a bonus action on the caster's turn to cast it.
Did the bat succeed?
They're just continually thinking, burn, 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 burn.
Right, but it doesn't take place on the other person's action. It takes place on their turn.
So it would happen when you were in it, though, right?
If we're in contact with the metal at the time of their action, then yes.
Right. So that's why I'm giving you a saving throw to be able to scamper up and get inside just at the right time.
Wait, did the bat manage to scratch at the eyes of the other person, causing them to lose concentration?
Unfortunately, that was not successful.
Oh, okay.
I did forget about the bat, that's why I'm laughing.
Athletics or acrobatics?
I mean, you could use either one.
Okay, I will probably prefer it. Not that it really matters, because that was a 10.
10? Okay. You're taking the full damage this round, which is 1. 1 point of damage. And Zip, you're taking half of 1, which is 0. That's why I was also like, it's only going to be a point of damage that I rolled, so I wasn't.
Oh, because is a cloth still on the ground?
The cloth is still on some of the vehicle. It's not covering everything. So you guys have hopped inside of it. It is hot, and Boxy makes their way over. Swell, you have healing potions easily accessible on your body, and a cat feeds you one of them. You may have 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
Boxy's paying attention and knows which one is your healing potion and which one is your greater healing potion, if you have one.
I already rolled, so that's 7. Okay. Alright, I'm like, and do I see Mog anywhere?
I suppose you would probably see her like going. Oh.
Okay,
she's
so
like,
she's looks different now. She doesn't look crazed.
yeah. Actually, no. Wait, she just attacked and missed. She's not out of it.
All right.
So you're seeing from her from behind, and Bug is ducking out of the way.
I think I'm gonna take another healing potion. Save my spell.
All right.
I'm gonna take another potion. Much, but
Okay. Now you are drinking while still within the area of the mushroom spores. Yeah, I should have been having you and Bug make saving throws every round. It's not like once you save, you stay saved.
okay.
So I would like you to. Bug is because Bug's covering their mouth and nose. If you want
do I see Bug with his with some sort of thing over his mouth?
With your perception, I would say you could.
Okay.
So you can, as a bonus action,
just pull up my shirt around my face or something.
Does Swell have a shirt?
Yeah, he wears a shirt underneath his chainmail because he's tough, but he's not tough enough to wear bare chainmail on his skin.
Yeah, no problem. You because you're rather perceptive, you notice that you spot what was going on with you looking for Mog. You saw Bug. You saw bugs covering their face.
Yeah.
You drank the potion, and you're like, "Oh, I better do that too," and just immediately covered yourself up.
All right, just straight up. I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna stand up, and then maybe next round I'll try and get Mog and cover her mouth and nose.
Okay, Bug. What are you doing after Mog attacks you?
I'm just gonna keep retreating. I'm gonna, just keep getting away from, but not retreat really far away, but just stay away from the people, everyone else.
Are you trying to make your way out of the mushroom field?
No, not necessarily. I'm just keeping a distance from other people so that they don't attack me.
Okay.
But I keep my mask on, my face cover.
All right, so you make your way away from Mog, doing a withdrawal action, and take no attack of opportunity. But if she gets a free shot on you, then that means that you can get further away, or you can be like, I don't want to be far away from her. I'd rather not take the shot right now and hope that she snaps out of it. So if you go 30 feet away, you don't take an attack of opportunity. If you go 60 feet away, you will. What do you want to do?
Oh.
Can I?
30, no, attack of opportunity. 30 feet away.
Okay. What were you saying, Priscilla?
Can I shout that? People when it's not my turn.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. I might say, retreat to the mobile. We might be calling on some reinforcements. Safe from the spores and the bones.
How far away is the bug mobile?
Probably like another round of movement away for you.
Okay.
They're pretty
Well,
close.
I get, yeah, I move towards it, but not enough to trigger attack of opportunity.
Okay.
I hide behind a mushroom tendril thing.
All right. Let's make it Mog's turn to try and shake it off, or people in the bugmobile if you want to do something from the bugmobile to try and change things around. You guys get to go first before Mog makes her save.
How close are we to? Oh no, they're not. She's not 30 feet away, right?
I don't think she'd be, like you guys are saying that you thought that they were closer to the edge of the forest or whatever, so I don't think she'd be within 30. I think you could make an argument for 80.
I am not doing it for her.
I should point out that none of the other sort of mushroomy things have been swinging around trying to hit you or hurt you guys. That seemed to have been like a defense mechanism used against people attacking it. And it has not used that because nobody's attacked it. Zip, did you want to do anything?
So Mog was 80 feet away.
Yeah. You could try and fly the ship. You can...
80 feet? I thought it only went like 40 feet.
Yeah. You can get closer to her though, but like, do you want to try and get closer to the rest of the group?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, you can move it 40 feet forward, so your like bug next round will be able to hop in. The bugmobile starts cooling down. It's no longer heated. They can't maintain that for more than a minute. And Mog's saving throw was not good, so she is going to try to attack Bug this turn. And you want to guess whether I rolled a 1 or a 20?
A 1.
This time? Yeah.
No, sorry.
Even if I am behind a mushroom where
She slices right through
the
the mushroom and hits you for 10 damage.
Wow, I'm dead.
Oh,
You're unconscious?
Unconscious, yeah.
Oh no. Swell.
I'm gonna get up, run straight at Mog, and then touch her and say, "Demons be gone!" and then cast Lesser Restoration.
All right. She's like, what? And looks around.
Cover your air holes! Now!
Okay. She, on her turn, she'll be able to do something. Is there
Can I,
anything
as a bonus action, grip her shirt and yank it over her face?
you could take, like, she has like a cloak that pokes out over her breastplate, and you could try and pull her cloak around and cover her face with it.
Yep,
Like her
that's what I
hood.
do.
All right, her face is now covered with the cloak, and Zip and East Boreal.
Is gonna start. Wait, so we're 40 feet closer to everyone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and
You're right up close to Mog and Swell and Bug, because they all sort of rushed into each other.
Mhm.
Boxy's still a little bit farther away. I guess Boxy would catch up last round too.
Can I use the claw to pick up Bug? Put him inside the bugmobile?
Yeah, sure. Give me a dexterity check to see how it goes.
9.
You sort of push Bug's body around, but not bad enough to actually hurt him. It's like a claw machine at the arcade where you're just like, maybe next turn.
I'm going to cast Bless on Swell, Zip, and Mog.
All right. Everybody now has a D4 they can add to their. Well, all those people have a D4 they can add to their saves and attacks, I believe. Is that correct?
Nice.
And so then on Mog's turn, she's gonna grab Bug and hop up into the Bugmobile. Bug, make a death saving throw.
Wait. What is that? Is that like a D20?
Yeah, just a straight D20.
Oh, I rolled a 20.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Not only are you not dead, you come back with 1 hit point.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yay.
We're going good.
I'm like, wow. What's going on?
And then she also holds a hand out down for Swell to come up. Like she wants to help whoever's coming next. And so Swell, you gonna hop in?
Yeah, I guess I'll get in.
All right. Well, Boxy's also gonna join you. You all get inside. You close the lid, and you're no longer breathing in the spores, and it's no longer a hot machine. So you guys, we're out of initiative. We're going turn by turn. What do you guys want to do?
Did we determine if we could like talk through the bugmobile? Like there was a loudspeaker or something?
Yep, there is.
Okay, I guess we could try and talk to the mushroom then.
Well, it's in our mind, right?
Yeah. It says, "Are you guys okay?"
No thanks to you.
I'm sorry.
Accent.
I can't help it.
You still did the whether you meant to or not. I think you need to get a grip on yourself.
Thanks for scaring away those guys who are hitting me.
They're
They're
still
probably gonna come
around.
back.
We're going to try and stop them from doing that again. But we can't do that if you're doing that to us, because then we'll hit each other as well, and it won't be a good time.
Well, I'm glad you're safe in that. Are you inside of a bug?
Kind of.
Close enough.
Huh. That's like a weird looking crystal horn. Pretty cool.
Yeah. It's our flying vehicle. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I guess.
Um,
A vehicle is sort of like a wagon, and then flying is what, bats do.
yeah. Exactly. Just like that.
Yeah, I have a lot of bats that come over for story time. We trade some pretty good stories.
Speaking of stories, do you know about do you know the story of Doom Hilda?
Oh, I've heard that one, yeah. A lot of people have come by looking for her.
And do you know where she is? her tomb? Specifically?
I think it's if you keep going south, and then you got to look for. There's like a door that has some runes on it. You know what
Oh.
runes are, right? They're like
Yeah.
letters. I don't read runes, or I don't know the difference between a rune and a letter, but people have described it as being like a rune. I've heard people say there was a runed doorway that way, but the people who go looking for Hilda haven't come back, so I don't know. It might not be there.
Oh, interesting. That's yeah. So south of here, how far south?
Oh, I don't know. Different people have said that they passed one on the way here, and they asked me about it, and I don't really know anything about it.
Okay.
We know which way we came when we were coming down the chasm.
We came north. To the mushroom, I think.
500 flaps north.
Yeah.
Do we pass it?
Wait.
So we
you
came
came
from the south.
You came from the south, so you potentially have passed it or have gone the wrong way, depending on how far away it was.
Wait, where were the people? They were trying to get some sort of treasure here, right? The teens.
Oh, were they? What sort of treasure were they looking for? Friendship? I have friendship.
What do you mean you have friendship?
Oh, I can be friendly. That's a good treasure.
Do you have any friends?
Yeah, the bats come and see me. Sometimes bugs. Your name is Bug. We could be friends. You're pretty nice.
Yeah, we could be friends. But you don't have any other treasure around you?
Well, just a bunch of junk.
What's the
Royal
junk?
pulls Bug aside and whispers in their ear and says, I think it was all the items and ammo that the adventurers at the mushroom has killed.
Oh, that
Swell.
stuff?
Oh,
You're
okay.
whispering into us. Oh, well, yeah, I guess he is telepathic.
Yeah, they're reading minds, so. Yeah, that stuff. Okay. You guys want some of it?
Yeah, we should
Why
we
didn't
should
they
take
just-
it all before they come back, and
Wait, I
then
don't
they'll have
get it.
no
Why
reason
didn't-
to attack you.
Why did
Oh,
they?
wait.
Why didn't they just take it? Like, why do they have to attack the mushroom?
Oh,
They were hired, not ordered to kill the mushroom by the villagers nearby. Apparently, his mushroom is keeping them from stripping the rocks of mining them.
they didn't say anything like that. They just said they came here to get my treasure.
I'm sure there are multiple reasons to be attacking you.
Oh, okay. All the people in the village nearby have been very friendly. They come and visit sometimes.
Really? What do they do when they visit?
Oh, we tell stories to each other.
Do they?
Offer you things.
Do they get to leave afterwards though, or do they lay down with everyone else?
No, they don't lay down at all. This is weird.
What's with the skeleton around you then?
Oh, those are some other people. You know, those are like elves and dwarves and halflings. But all the people in the nearby village, they're like the Bugmobile. They're like sometimes people call them Warforged.
Oh.
They're all like they're people who have survived the Orphan War, and they just want to get away from all the fighting and stuff, and they're just hanging out down here. And they just come by, and every once in a while they share old stories about their lives on the surface. And
Okay.
sometimes they collect pigments so they can do paintings.
Is that the only village around though, or is there more?
That's the only one close by.
Okay.
I mean,
those
if you're
other-
talking about people, if they're talking to, oozes or bugs or bats, there's all sorts of them around, but not what I think you guys would call people.
I think those that other group of people were lying.
Well, they seemed like they weren't very nice.
Not at all.
Yeah, they.
Isboriel has been looking toward the other direction to keep an eye out for the other party. Has there been any sign of motion?
Give me a perception check.
We'll do my keen half-elven. Let's see. 22.
22. What's your dark vision?
60 feet.
Let me do a check here. Nope, you don't see anything.
All right, you know what, guys? I think we got what we wanted. The direction to Doomhilda's tomb. I think we should just leave before the other guys come back.
If you want to take the stuff, you're more than welcome. The Warforged don't seem to want it, though. But then again, they're done with fighting. They don't like to fight anymore.
I think we should take it, if only to spite that group of...
Agreed.
I
think
wait,
we
what?
should take all the treasures so they don't have any.
Well, maybe you could drop it further away so they would leave me alone.
If we take it, then they'll follow us.
Right, so drop it on the ground, and then they won't follow you, and they won't attack me.
The only thing is that we want them to follow us away from you. And then we can lure them into the dark deeps and kill them.
Oh, that sounds mean.
Well,
We should
they
lure
kind
them
of-
into the spider den.
That would be funny.
They kind of deserve it, though. But actually, would you be willing to help us end them? He says, I say, very kind of like, it's a weird thought.
He says it the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
If they try to attack me, I defend myself for sure, but, if they come in here and they don't hurt me, if they come close, I'll beat them up.
How well were you doing against them before we came along? Were you winning, do you think, or were you losing?
I think I was losing.
Because they're just going to keep coming back.
Okay, if you
We
want
tried to convince them to stay away, but then they were like, nah, there's treasure over there. And we were like, yeah, but nah, don't do that. And they were like, and they shot her, and I point at Zip, which was really uncool.
Was uncool. It hurt.
So I think we unfortunately have to put an end to them so they don't put an end to you. And if that's just like giving them a good beating and sending them running away.
Okay. Well,
Can we grab all of the treasure on the floor with our machine
the
claw?
claw machine thing?
Yeah.
no. You think that it is not good enough for delicate retrieval of stuff that's half hidden in the muck and mire, that you'd probably want to get down and investigate and move things around and try to, look for things. If you did it just...
I can jump out and have a look. I've been pretty good at finding things since we last got that boost.
I don't know if we should waste our time here, because if you're down there and these guys come back, then
They're going to come back for this treasure, and I think we should at least take that treasure so they don't come back for it. And either we give it to this colony of Warforged, or we sell it and use that money to help us find our masters, or use it to lure these people away.
Okay.
It won't be a waste of time. We can tell stories.
Exactly.
Okay, well, why don't can the mushroom can mushroom can you use your tendrils to dig out the treasures for us and
No.
no? This does not sound very cooperative.
Well, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna attack you, and I'll defend if those bad guys come. I guess if you cover your faces, you'll be okay.
Well, Swell's going to be like, I'm just going to have a look, and then
Yeah.
opens the door and jumps out.
Wait, don't forget to cover your face.
Oh, right. He's jumping out the door.
I'm
Isaburiel,
just-
does a little trill on his Kruth and sends like quick casts his unseen servant and says, "Look, go and look for anything that looks shiny and sparkly and magical type among the bodies down there."
I'm gonna also let Boxy go and with the handkerchief around his head, his nose, but to collect whatever you guys can put stuff in.
I'm gonna tear some cloth off my shirt or something and like tie it around my face and also get out and like keep an eye out because I know that those guys are sneaky and they're probably trying to sneak up on us and I don't want Swell to get axed by a crossbow arrow.
I
Well,
am
speaking
going to
of-
stop Zip on the way out and say, "We should probably keep that flute at the ready to use at any moment."
I got it.
And he is going to stay in there and basically just keeping post, keeping watch, and keeping bow at the ready.
Okay. Give me an investigation check for anybody or anything that is looking around in the stuff.
I'm just going to list off my passives again. Passive perception's 18, investigation is 14. But I can roll for both as well if you would like.
Yeah. I mean, if you had all the time in the world, I would just take the 14. But if you're trying to do this with some sort of timely manner, I'd like a roll.
I'm going to roll a d20 for the unseen servant, just straight, if that sounds good.
Yeah.
So 17, investigation.
Okay.
Luke rolled a 16.
Okay. And what does Boxy get?
Is it just a straight D20 as well?
I will add the bonus. So you don't know how smart Boxy is.
I also cast Cure Wounds on myself because I was still hurting. Does anyone else look rough?
I have
It
one
still
health.
looks a bit rough.
I have 1 health.
You have one. Okay. Okay. I'll just pat you on the shoulder and say, there. Cast Cure Wounds. Get back 14 hit points.
So you hop back in the bugmobile and do that?
Maybe before I jump out narratively, because it doesn't make sense.
Okay, then narratively, Mog wants to take a minute and go, Swell, I'm so sorry. I wasn't myself. I didn't mean to.
I know. It's all good. It was mushroom. It was mushy. As I'm gonna call them. Them. Yeah. All good.
You also,
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Did a mean swing though. It really hurt.
you also killed me too, Mog.
I'm sorry, Bug. Sorry.
It's okay, don't
I'm just going to
I
bring
know
it
you
up.
didn't mean
No
to.
reason whatsoever.
worry.
No guilting here at all. But I'm going to remind you that you killed me.
Yeah. When we're at the tavern later, it's gonna be like, hey, remember that time you killed us? Who's buying?
I mean, you guys haven't had a chance to really see Mog in much of a fight so far. She was fought against Holden the Beholder. But I don't think you guys have really had much of a fight since then, so it's too bad that it's been against you, but you've seen that she's not bad. At least when she rolls 3 20s. During this time, you discover that the mushroom's name is Boreelden Bobbler Mooftrin,
Mushy it is.
and I want to know what story Bug is telling Bori while you guys are doing your investigation checks.
Wait, I'm telling a story?
Well, because Priscilla said that Ys is focused on keeping an eye out, and I think Zip is keeping like ready at the wheel.
No, I'm outside of the bugmobile with Swell watching his back.
Ah, okay.
Because I expect the other guys to show up and start firing on us. So I've got my sword out. I'm like actively looking around, looking for them.
All right, give me a perception check.
I got a 3. 4.
Right.
Should I as well?
You've already given me one, and the stealth check that you're going against hasn't changed.
Okay.
Boxy rolled a 7, by the way, for perception.
For the investigation?
Or investigation, yeah.
All right. Boxy comes back with some stuff inside Boxy. You don't know what it is. The unseen servant comes floating back and has shiny things, which include 3 potion vials and a dagger and a bunch of jewelry, a few gems, and what was the other thing I was going to give you? And let me check my notes here. I said jewelry, gems, potions, a dagger, right? The other thing that you find is scroll case. Swell.
Mm-hmm.
You find a battle axe.
Yep.
A longsword.
Okay.
A quiver of arrows.
Yeah.
And a spell book.
Spell book. Now, if only we knew. Wizard.
And and a shield. And
And
all
a
of these
shield.
things you can tell because once you cleared the muck off them, they're like untarnished, etched with runes. These are things that look like they are either magical or at least highly valuable.
Okay.
In your investigations, you're able to figure out that like the other metal things left here have started to pit and disintegrate a little bit. Even like the bones are being eaten by this mushroom, but even the metals and the stuff are being eaten away. So it's probably taken a lot more time, but you're fairly certain that you've picked up some magic items here.
Nice. I'll kind of like hold them out to Zip. Say, battle axe, longsword. You want any of this stuff?
She's too distracted.
Yeah, she's looking for the bad guy.
elsewhere, yeah.
Because you've just got a regular longsword, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have a regular one, so.
And you can be like your sister and I'll hold up the battle axe. Or
So that is after about 20 minutes of searching.
Cool.
If you guys want to stay longer and look more, you're welcome to.
Can I ask what, like, Boxy, what, if they found anything? If he had found anything?
Sure.
Can you show
Boxy
me?
pops out some rings that used to have jewels in them. And so you've got some gold and silver rings. But you also have a few more scroll cases. And let's see, the last thing was... It's really weird. He pulls out a fake beard that is orange with black tiger stripes.
Oh.
Beard and mustache.
Oh, okay.
And it has like the loops to go over the ears, and it is in no way like disintegrated.
Interesting. Interesting. Boxy, these are not
Yeah,
great
they're not
points. I have to be honest, Boxy, these are not great picks. Is this orange? Is our orange like the highlighter orange? Is this our triggered color?
I don't know what that
Has he been
means.
dead here the whole time?
Is it the same color as the orange-haired guy that we've seen?
Oh, I don't know. Have you seen him? Give me a perception check.
Did this trigger a gut reaction? Who, me?
Yeah.
With perception, you said?
Yeah.
I got a 8.
8. Yeah. Makes you think of him.
But it has like it's not the same, right? It has like the black stripes.
It does have black stripes, which makes it more unusual.
It's different.
But I
I'm
mean,
just like, this reminds me of our enemy. Boxy, I'm gonna have to send you back.
Did we
Everyone's-
see?
what did you
see
say you rolled
Boxy?
again? Was that a 7 or a 6 you got for Boxy?
Or no, the first time it was a 7.
Yeah.
I
So it was.
didn't-
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so that's why you got not as much good stuff is because you rolled that.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean,
But if
Bug is
everyone's
still going to
looking-
blame Boxy, like,
Yeah.
like every bad manager.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe the instructions were wrong, Boxy. But just look at what's in Swell's hand, okay? And look at what you brought back. But it's okay.
What is this? What is this? Get back out there!
I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to spend more time.
Does it look like most of this? Basically, does it look like anything has been left? Just at a
Your
let me-
quick glance, you don't see anything that was like the obvious, like, oh look, there's a shield over there. Why didn't you guys check out that shield? Like,
Mhm.
you can't see anything, but you also know that as you go through some of the filth, as you're, making your way through it, poking in a sword to seeing if it makes a noise, or pushing things aside, you can find more stuff. There might be something else there, but certainly not to the naked eye right now.
I kind of want to say to the others as they're returning quietly, if part of the reason we're doing this is not just to get shiny things, as much as I do love shiny things, is to get the others to think that we've claimed everything. We should maybe stick around for perhaps another 5 minutes and then make loud noises about having found all of the stuff before we depart.
You
I
know
agree.
what we should do is play our little toot 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 and then
As
hide in the
relief, as a
buzzing
parting
field
gift.
and like leave them a little trap of undead.
I feel a
Wow.
little bit more bad about that idea, knowing that there is a peaceful Warforged village nearby. That they are not the poopholes that will hiring the others to cut this thing down, this mushroom down. But it does fill me with some joy. The idea.
I'm wondering about that. And they is there a way to keep them in here, to like pen them in? A kind of like undead corral of sorts.
Maybe if Mushy
You
like
want the holy one?
moves his mushrooms or friends around and makes like a pen.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, I am not able to really move them. I can move them left and right, but I can't move them I can move them like this, but I can't move them like this. Except
What if
for
you move them like this?
he says he moves them like he waves them around. He says I can do this, but that's about it. I can't move it more to the left or more to the right.
Hey, can you sense any living thing within your forest, like your mushroom kingdom?
No.
Okay.
I can sense most intelligent life, but certainly
That's-
not
yeah,
any
that's what
living
I'm-
thing.
But like, can you sense an intelligence here other than us? Are they? Is that other group coming?
Yes,
Yeah.
there definitely is. One of the skulls.
One of the skulls.
Yeah.
What? Where?
Luke, go pick up the one that I point to in a moment, and he'll wait for the mushroom to
Okay.
point it out.
The mushroom waves a mushroom stalk close to where there's a few skulls. It's hard for it to pinpoint exactly, but your an unseen servant comes back with 3 skulls that it could be.
One of these is intelligent?
Boreal is absolutely going to pick one up and then look at it and be,
Yeah.
Alas, this one appears to be dumb. And then he's going to kind of fling it onto the seat and then give it a sidelong look to see if it's reacted to that.
It does not do any particular reaction.
Basically, he's just going to examine all of them to see if there's any hint of...
All right, what sort of check do you think I should make this? What is East Boreal using to base their intelligent skull information on?
Essentially, he wants to... Yeah. I mean, I think what he's... At least particularly for the first one, he was trying to wound the pride of a sentient being by calling it really dumb. And
Trying to trick it into reacting.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. It hasn't said anything to me, and it's been here a while. But I can tell it's still got some intelligence inside of it.
Can I try to viciously mock each of the skulls in turn?
Certainly.
And see what... Okay.
So you viciously mock the skulls, and you might even do it repeated times, so you can get a result.
Sure, yeah.
Because you're not going to run out of your cantrip, so you are doing that.
You're there for 2 hours. Quietly.
I'm starting to run out of insults to skulls.
You bonehead. Also, you're a bonehead.
And your teeth are like bone.
So you viciously mock and roll me some psychic damage.
Just once or
Gonna kill it.
Just one time.
You killed the
3.
only intelligent.
Only 3, you said?
3. Yeah.
3? You take 3 psychic damage as it blasts back at you.
Oh. Oh, I think it was that one. Didn't like that.
Oh, let's keep it.
Does it have a mandible, or is it just the top half of the skull?
It is not a humanoid skull.
Okay.
It is of a creature that you're not sure what it is.
Do you have a drawing of it?
Are the other 2 human skulls? Because I'm going to be the fact that it's not humanoid is a dead giveaway. Spurial, that, to me screams.
It's your turn to viciously mock.
Try to viciously mock the spirit.
No, the other ones are also one of them looks like it is. One is sort of this much of a skull and the jawbone, and it looks kind of like it's probably came from a human or an elf or something. One of them has one eye and is quite large. And has some rather spiky teeth that are more... You figure it doesn't have teeth for It's got lots of teeth for tearing and ripping and swallowing whole. And then the last one. It's more like that.
Is
And
that
you
that?
also-
That's
You
the
also-
one that like blasted.
Yeah. You also find some, I should say, you found some secton skulls. So I guess, like, since sectons are actually bugs, and bugs are exoskeletons, you would have just found, like, bug shells in amongst all these parts. That you would have found, like, you know, the head of, like, a rhinoceros beetle man, and the head of a, or woman, and, you know, like a stag beetle person and a dung beetle person. Lots of beetle people.
Okay. Well, we
Well-
can take this with us, and
There's a spell I
Carry on.
know that, well, I will know. Well, I know it, but I can't do it yet because I don't have enough power. But I think at some point I'll be able to. I could talk to them, or it, or whatever. But I can't do it now. Too soon? Question mark? I'm very
okay, let's
curious.
just keep it in
Yeah,
boxy
was
for
it-
now.
Boxy
I mean,
does not open up.
Keep it out because I'll try to identify them at some point. I think
So, actually, Boxy's still out looking for stuff because you sent Boxy out again. So, go ahead.
yeah, I can try and figure out what they are at some point. Oh no, I can't do it. Wait, I've done it before though, haven't I? Maybe I haven't.
Talk to like a undead or
No, identify. I thought I could identify things. Guess not.
I thought one of you got an odd, like the item so you could identify stuff. That you needed
wait,
a
what do
pearl
you mean
or something.
identify? Like
So there's a magic spell called Identify, but I
Oh.
thought that would have been the bard.
Burnt spell twice list. There's a
We can
spell
ask the
that gives
bard.
a bard spell.
we can ask the other bard to identify it when they come back later.
After we kill the rest of his Baltians. The message. Yeah.
All right. Well,
But we should, as I said earlier, make a great noise about taking everything of value away.
For the flute idea, was it like a time limit that the skeletons will be alive, or like while you're playing it, or something like that?
We don't really know. We've not actually. Yeah. So when I tried to, I believe when I first tried to attune to it a long time ago, I didn't find out anything of note. It didn't seem magical. I imagine that's probably because it was cursed. But as such, we don't really know the details of it. And I think for the various, when we were fighting against the undead, we just killed all of them. They got killed in one way or another.
Okay. Well, I will say I say we leave the mushroom to fend for itself, and we carry on.
I think we can lure those jerks away anyway if we just kind of say, "Ha, we got your stuff. Come and get it,"
Yeah.
and then we just like take off.
Yeah, and also a mushroom can grow back if it was cut off.
Exactly.
That's not nice.
do you really are you really scared of those guys?
I mean, that's some of the toughest people I fought against.
But you can regenerate, right? Like when you're injured or something.
Depends on how injured I am.
We cannot regenerate our limbs if they get cut off. I do not see why a mushroom would be any different.
Wait, what? We can't. A mushroom can't regenerate.
No, I can't regenerate. I mean, I can keep parts of me growing like my hair, but if you cut it off, it's very painful. And if they go for the central stalk like they were, they could kill me pretty easily.
Well, the plan was to lure them away, so I mean, hopefully that takes them away. But or we can fight them here, where we have an ally on our side.
Will you be able to fight with a cloth around your nose?
Me?
Well, all of us, really. When both of our hands are occupied. I really only need one hand for the most part, but he starts to experiment with his handkerchief and like tying it around his nose like this, like a bandit, and stuff like that.
Also, if we
Just
stay in the
making nose
ship,
plugs.
if we stay in the ship, they might heat it up again. Yeah, they're pretty strong. They seem pretty strong, and they were pretty resistant to the spores. So I don't know. Maybe
Which is
they.
weird. Maybe they have a way around it.
Well,
Maybe they have
maybe
nose
they're
plugs or
just
that.
really wise.
Did they have nose plugs when we were talking to them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You did not see anything that looked like a nose plug.
But also, like, if you plug your nose, you have to breathe through your mouth. So you need to filter it, right? Like, you still breathe in the spores.
Wear like an N95 mask, maybe.
Yeah.
It'll filter it out.
What's the fantasy medieval equivalent of an N95?
This is probably what Isabel is like experimenting with right now, because like he's pulling out a couple of handkerchiefs and tying the corners together around the back and the front, and that sort of thing, just to get them to cover his lower face fully.
Swell will kind of rip off a section of his very long cape and create like a little face mask from that.
Mog also, she takes out some of her desert equipment and has something to cover her face with now. Can you roll an investigation check for Boxy's second attempt at searching?
11.
11. All right. Boxy comes back and spits out a couple of damaged weapons and a like damaged helmets and stuff, but also one golden circlet that you could be worn around the head.
Okay, all right.
Is that also missing the jewels?
It has no jewels on it. But it also does not look like it used to have. It doesn't have settings for them.
Doesn't have what?
Settings, like the place that would have held a jewel.
Oh, I see. Okay, I guess this is the best you can do, Boxy. It's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, Isabel kind of looks at Bug and then takes a few notes.
Do you want this?
You're like prepping new disses for later.
No, he was like, the sheer, he's kind of muttering to himself, the level of passive aggression, my Auntess Muriel would be impressed.
It's okay. Did you find any gems to eat for yourself?
He meows and rubs up against your legs.
Okay. Well, I guess that's good enough. Okay, so what's the plan, guys? Are we trapping them here? Are we leaving?
I vote we kick the snot out of them.
Okay.
They tried to hurt
Once I find
you all,
myself
and they
in the
hurt
wings.
Zip. And-
Well, do we even know they're coming back? I mean, Mushroom hasn't sensed anything,
Mm.
and we
Well,
haven't seen anything.
I can almost guarantee you they're watching us. They're not
Mushroom
gonna
can
leave a
tell.
horde.
So the mushroom, like outside the mushroom forest, I'm assuming it can't really sense anything.
That's correct. That's what he's indicated. They've indicated.
I mean, if they are watching us, then if we just stay here, it's just a waiting game.
And yeah,
What if we
they'll have
pretend
the.
to leave and then see and then come back? I don't know. Like we can pretend to leave and then see if the mushroom is
They
in
could be
danger.
waiting for us to leave.
What if we just like fly the bugmobile up 120 feet or so and
Yeah,
like
let's-
hide in the
Let's
Sour
try
Pines
that.
or something?
We can try that.
How far up does the ceiling go here? Can we see? the ceiling from?
300 feet.
Oh, yeah.
My dark vision is 120 feet, so I'll be able to see that far. If we like go 120 feet up and just kind of like nestle into the wall or something, like hide.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
let's.
is there any mushrooms on the roof? Because that's where he shot you from last time. You should be careful. Apparently, this goblin's good at climbing.
There are stalactites and stalagmites all over, and the walls here are very rough. So if somebody was, good at rock climbing, they would be able to scurry their way across.
I meant like fly the bugmobile up.
Okay, everybody's back inside, and Ori says, "Okay, well, if they come, I'll hit them."
Scream. We'll hear it. Sure.
All right, you fly up 120 feet.
Can we like hide?
Well, there's nowhere necessarily to hide at exactly 120 feet. You could hide among the stalactites if you went up like another, like basically up to 300 feet or 260 feet or something. But if they don't have 120 feet dark vision, you're hidden, right?
There were no
Doesn't the
drow
bugmobile,
amongst
make
them, right?
sound?
You did not see any drows, and the bugmobile does not make any sound that you know of. Like,
Okay.
we were joking that it does that noise when it speeds by, but maybe it does that at high speeds.
That's my
But not.
headcanon.
It doesn't do that when it's moving like, back 40 feet, or per round or whatever. But it does that when you're just like just zooming through the air.
Do we have to roll like a stealth check or something?
Nope. You do need to do a perception check though if you want to see what's going on underneath.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking out. You know I'm looking out.
You don't have dark vision.
Oh, fair enough. Well played.
Can I look to see what I can see within 60 feet?
I got
Sure.
a 10.
All right.
Are we still connected to the mushroom up here? Like, is he still in our thoughts?
He is not in your thoughts anymore.
Mushy, can you hear me? Okay, maybe we should just leave. I didn't want to say it while we're down there because they could hear us, but like, what if we just left?
Well, let's just wait a minute and see if anything happens.
19 is what I got.
Okay. You also don't see anything within 60 feet.
All right, well,
So you wait 15 minutes and nothing happens.
Well, we also have ears, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh,
Well, to be honest, I would not mind a bit of a rest.
Like,
If you want
just
to,
rest while we hover here.
Oh yeah, we should take a rest.
at least a short, at least a short rest.
How long is a
See
short
what
rest?
happens.
Or how
An
many?
hour.
1 hour? Okay. Do we like heal to the full HP?
No, but you can spend hit dice to roll and gain hit points back.
What's the dice?
So for you, it's going to be a D8, and you add your Constitution bonus, and you can do it as many times as you have levels. There should be a button in D&D Beyond that will let you roll.
Also, if we are going to take a short rest, then he'll be strumming like a very soft tune inside of the Bugmobile, so people can take an additional 1d6
Nice.
points if you use a hit die.
Is it 1d6 per hit die, or just 1d6 for the whole rest as the rest as a whole?
Just as a whole.
I'm happy to keep a lookout instead of resting if I need to.
You guys can, I think, yeah, you probably need to keep a lookout because as much as you can, you would notice if somebody came close to you, 120 feet away, I think, if there was something big, you would notice for sure. You would see if somebody entered that, if the mushroom was, flailing around. It's glowing, I guess. So in its pocket, all of you could see if something got within, maybe 30 feet of it, got close to the edge of it. But if it's something that's, on the walls, on the ceiling, or further back north or further back south, you wouldn't see them. And so far,
concerned.
Pardon?
I was gonna say we're mostly concerned with if they come and start attacking it again, aren't we? So.
Yeah, and so you haven't seen that happen at all. If you want to, if you're concerned about him attacking or them attacking, then you can do your, then don't take your hit dice. If you're happy just knowing whether, if you want to make sure you're safe, then you need to not do it. If you care about whether Bori is safe, then you can do it because you can see pretty easily.
Yeah, I'll keep a lookout.
Okay.
I'll be fine. I'll just take a healing potion instead.
All right, an hour passes.
Could I spend an hour with one of those objects to try and
attune to it?
No, what you can identify it, right? By spending an hour with it, or am I misremembering that? So, what did I have? I had the shield, the sword, the battle axe. Yeah, I'll try and identify the sword.
Okay. Before I forget, I just want to ask Priscilla, if I don't spend a hit die, am I allowed to get the D6?
You have to spend a hit die.
Okay, I'll spend the hit die for Mog. Just want to take care of that house cleaning. Okay, so the sword is a +2 sword that does an additional D6 of ice damage.
Okay. So is it
or cold damage, I should say.
Yeah, this does cold damage, and it's extra sharp.
Ice cold, me.
Exactly.
What else you got?
Might be good.
And in fact, it looks like it might have come from the tririme.
Oh.
It has that sort of spider web, ice snowflake, spider web snowflake patterns around the hilt area.
So what kind of sword is it?
Long sword. It's not something that's something you can grab from D&D Beyond. I'll have to make it as a special object.
There's a flame tongue longsword, but not an ice tongue.
Yeah.
Can I have tried to attune to one of the more magical looking pieces of jewelry? Morrison.
Are you allowed to do that and strum your lute? I think so. I think it.
Up to you. I think it depends on whether it's an active study or just sitting with it, or if the Song of Rest requires an active.
Give me an Arcana check to see if you can identify something as magical.
22.
22. Yeah, you think there are two pieces of the jewelry that are magical. There's a ring and there's an anklet.
Okay.
Which one do you want to go for?
I'll try for the ring.
Okay. It is a ring of jumping.
Nice.
And do some
I'll
hops.
make it. I was gonna say if the bug is heated again, I'll be able to get in and out a little bit more easily.
Can you take a rest while attuning to the magic item?
Yeah.
Can I attune? Do I know how to attune to things?
Yeah, if you just spend an hour holding onto an object and sort of looking at it and thinking about it, it sort of speaks to you.
Okay.
The danger is if it's a cursed item, then you now have a cursed item that you're stuck with. But if it's not a cursed item, then you should be fine.
Oh, I see. Okay, I will. Can I try to attune to the other one, the anklet?
That's up to East Boreal.
Okay. I spent an hour with it, staring at it.
So the
Oh,
anklet. The anklet.
Following with his royal suit.
The anklet works as a pearl of wisdom.
Oh,
So
what is
it? Just you can look that up in D&D Beyond, and it will tell you what it does.
Basically, it lets you restore a spell slot up to like 3rd level or something. There's some other stuff that goes with it, but essentially, is what it is.
Okay.
Probably very useful for you. You get a warlock.
Yeah, actually.
Wait, what is it? A pearl of wisdom?
Yeah, but it's not a pearl because I like
sorry.
making things, slightly different than what you would normally get out of the book. So this is an anklet, and is looks like it comes from the Glass Dominion. It has
Is it
that sort
Pearl
of
of Wisdom, or do you mean Pearl of Power? Pearl of Power is the one I was thinking of.
Let me double check. Maybe I'm using a 3E or 2nd edition even reference. I'm making some of this up on the spot. Some of it I have notes for, and some of it I do not.
Classic DM trip.
I'm like, there definitely has to be a longsword for Zip, because Zip does not have a longsword. That is something I will have included.
Spell of Power is you can use an action to speak its command word and regain 1 expended spell slot. If the expended slot was the 4th level or higher, the new slot is 3rd level. And once you've used it, you can't use it again until the next dawn.
Sure, that's what it is then.
Spell of Power.
Okay.
And it has a cameo of a beautiful woman's face attached to the anklet.
Do we recognize the beautiful woman?
Give me a history check.
History. -1. That is a 7.
Nope, no idea.
I'm gonna think of this beautiful woman as my mother. I'm like, maybe she's my mom.
She is human.
Oh.
He's still thinking.
Hey, if he's an ooze, his mom could be an ooze in the shape of a human.
Yep,
Hey.
could be.
Yeah, that's
The
my
fact that
that's
it
my
was
thought
constructed.
So, an hour has passed. Nothing has happened.
Alright, well, what do you all want to do?
Out of here.
Yeah, we can't wait here forever. We can come back and check on it after we find the tomb.
But potentially simply rest here for the night as well. I don't know about the rest of you, but I could use a bit of a nap. A longer one anyway.
That's true.
Oh, is it
Even if
nighttime
we go
already?
seeking there, I think we would want to have a rest before we enter this ruined door.
I mean, if they are like us, then if they get a rest, then they're also going to get the benefits of that as well, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
So-
but we can't unless we go out to look for them. We can't really control that. Like if they want to do that.
Yeah.
It's really more for our benefit than for preventing them from doing anything that they may be doing.
I don't like the idea of leaving this Mushy by himself with those people out there, but if we can draw them away, that would also be good. I just want to make them pay. Really.
Hey,
Well,
it's revenge. It's not a good road to go down, Swell.
It's justice. Yeah, we don't practice revenge in my order. I mean, people can get pretty catty, but like, yeah. As a
This
cleric,
helps, we always seek justice.
yes, exactly.
I mean, they're just kids like us, so it's I don't know.
Kids like us, I think that would make me all the more concerned about leaving them here to.
Well, okay. I mean, we can if you want to sleep, we can sleep next to the mushroom. We could land on top of the mushroom cap. Sleep on top of them.
What if they show up in the middle of the night and like make the bugmobile hot again though? That suck.
Don't see a reason why we simply cannot leave the bookmobile here.
We'll just wrap cloth around us. We can ask the mushroom to warn us when they sense that they're in the forest.
Don't you have little animal friends you can use to keep watch?
They're only active for I think for an hour. Right? I mean Boxy can keep watch. We leave Boxy outside. Just be like, just knock on our door, okay? When you need to go in. Well, we can also take turns keeping watch, I guess. What's the radius of the mushroom forest?
Okay, so if this is the main brain mushroom thing, let's see, this is probably as far out as it goes, and this is probably about 140 feet from there to there, and the light goes out a little bit further from there.
Okay. I mean I think that's pretty far. Like my dark vision can only see 60 feet like one direction. So it's better
What? I mean, I can't even see that far, so
if the mushroom can just let us know when they're here in the forest. It's just as good as our vision, if not better. We can rest in the middle. We can rest on top of his head, and then be at the most center point.
that's true. You know how I feel, but I'm happy to just leave as well because we have bigger, pressing issues to deal with. Group of rowdy teens.
Well, if we do need to take a rest, this is probably the maybe one of the safer spots to take a rest.
I agree. And listen, they'll probably just attack during the night and have to. That'll save us from a big long discussion. So
yeah, let's. I say we just rest here on top of the mushroom.
all right.
That way, there's also less spores because it comes from under the mushroom. So if we stay on top and cover our faces, our noses.
Well, if we stay inside, yeah, I think.
Yeah, and we stay inside. Just that's because I don't know, like the bugmobile is not entirely airtight, right?
That's correct.
So, wait, you're muted, I think, Priscilla.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Priscilla's audio's fucked.
Well, we were going to call it an evening here anyways, but I'd like to know, like, you guys to settle on a plan before we head out, so I know what to prepare for next week.
I think sleeping on top of the mushroom in the bugmobile seems to be the consensus right now. And then, I guess if they're not here by morning, by the time we get up, we just leave.
Yeah.
Check back again another day.
Yeah, and we'll tell the mushroom to tell us if they're here.
And when you say on top, do you mean like floating 120 feet above it?
No, I think
No, like
he means just like sitting on top of it.
Well, it's not into that. You could float like 10 feet above it or something like that, but it doesn't want you sitting on its head.
oh.
Well, can the bugmobile stay floating indefinitely?
And potentially. You don't, I mean, there are warnings about leaving it running for too long, that you could eventually run out of magic power, that it should be shut off after, a day of use.
We
Let
just
us
land.
charge.
We can just land next to it. If we can't be on top of its head, we'll be next to it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll figure out what the ne'er-do-wells in the rest of the group do, knowing that you are setting down in the middle of the mushroom forest. And you guys have a week to plan if you want to come up with some defenses, and I have a week to plan of what their plan of attack might be, if any.
Planning. That sounds very un-PC like.
Thanks everyone. I enjoyed all of the drawings tonight, all of the goofy mushrooms, and I like the jewel thief cat on there right now.
I was gonna try and grab him and like as he was jumping out the second time and just like toss him back in. It's like, nope, in you go. But I was like, nah, I don't want to steal agency from Boya. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
The Boxy actually has to spend all night looking for more treasure while we're sleeping.
I think that kind of was one of my favorite things, just seeing Bug turn into this like super passive aggressive mom. Just like, oh well, I guess if that's the best you can do.
He sees everyone else getting cool stuff and is just more disappointed by Boxy. Usually he would be very impressed.
Did you just to play a question, Boya? Did you take the weapon one, the boon, or did you take something else? Because you summon like a cheese whip thing, right? Or
oh yeah, I yeah, the pact of weapon or something.
Yeah,
pact weapon. Yeah, I did.
If you wanted to, you could definitely take that battle axe. instead.
Oh.
But it's up to you.
Oh, I could use that like as my pack weapon.
I have to go. So
Yeah.
as I
We
have
should.
to head out right now.
Anyways, night
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week.